This is That Comic Smell podcast, featuring your hosts,
David Robertson,
Fernando Pons,
Giuseppe Lambertino,
Mike Sadaka,
and Tom Stewart.
My blood run down my tongue and fall black eyed. The hounds at my gates were never enough. You were so okay to me.
Hey there, this is Tom from That Comic Smell. How you all doing? Just a quick intro to the start of this podcast. Now, we did actually record an Avery Hill reviews podcast with everybody in the room, but unfortunately that recording was lost from the very start. We had a bit of a problem, and we recorded the whole thing, or so we thought, and it was not recording, put it that way. So basically we had an Avery Hill podcast from a while back. We didn't know if we were going to use that or not, and then I recorded all the guys separately. So there's one coming next time with Dave and Nando and myself, and then there's Giuseppe and myself as well. I've just split this into two parts because it does go on quite long. So what you'll hear next is Mike, myself and Dave having a wee discussion on some of the books that Avery Hill were kind enough to send us, and then you will hear when me and Mike caught up after he read another couple of titles like a month or so later. So apologies for this kind of jigsaw put together podcast, but I hope you still enjoy it, and speak to you all soon.
certainly willing to give this a try.
Give it a smell and see what you think.
Oh no, I'll just tuck in.
It's worth a smell.
I'm sure the Hulk would hold
That
back.
cake smell.
That cake smell.
Oh, aye.
That's our offshoot podcast. That cake smell, and it's just a lot of reviews on the latest cakes.
You know I'm in a good position to do that. Because at work we've got Cake Thursdays.
Oh, God. I'm in a good position to do that because I'm a greedy bastard.
Well, I think I better get started with my...
Yeah, did you enjoy it?
It was pretty good. It's not exactly the sort of novel I'd be into myself, but it was very psychedelic. And some of the stories were a bit more gripping than others, like the titles Ghosts, etc. By George Wylesol.
Wylesol?
Yeah, Wylesol.
And the story I liked was the very first one. The story I liked the most.
It's like an anthology book, yeah.
No, it's all by it's all the same.
Different stories throughout.
Yeah, anthologies in different styles.
Yeah.
He's actually, it's got a wee bit about him at the back. He's an illustrator and a designer and a writer from Philadelphia in the US. Studied at the University College of Arts in Philadelphia and the Maryland Institute College of Art in Baltimore, which by American standards is not too far away.
No.
But standards here we might be huffing and puffing and trying to get our breath back.
Just a bit.
But the first story is like you're in a warehouse. It's like his new job, and it was like you see a wee plan in the warehouse, and or hospital. That's what I was meaning. So I looked at this quite a while back. So he starts his work in the hospital, and he's like, he estimates there's at least 50 miles of tunnels down here. You could take a wrong turn and be lost for days. It's really that big. Sort of reminds me of the days when my grandparents at different times were ill, and I had to go to Perth Royal Infirmary to see whenever I was visiting them. Quite often it was in the middle of the night, and be going through the long corridors, and we knew the night watchman quite well, so he'd say hello, and it was just as well. So that kind of reminds me of this. You're going through the long corridors, and some of them look the same. But with this, you'll find a random picture, and there'll be a guy lying on the floor. My life in North Dakota is not that different from my real life under the real hospital. So he's a guy who's got a wee bit of an imagination, but the title is Ghosts. So I think the ghost bit is this one. There's more emphasis to the first story. So like he sees a curtain, and
I like the
says-
first person view. Sorry.
yeah, well, he's seen this curtain, and it's like a ghost in itself, and then there's some plug sockets there, and they look like ghosts themselves, and then the curtain's sort of like pink, and all of a sudden you've seen a curtain on its own behind.
Yeah, like it's darting away.
Yeah,
And it's in tops of doorways and
Yeah.
everything like that.
and it's all he's on his own, so he's seen these little bitties and bobs behind containers, and then you'll have the random caption suddenly there, and you realise it's not so random because it's like an eerie haunted house.
Yeah. It's like his thought process as he's walking through this hospital.
So you see more, and then there's this picture here which I kind of remembered quite well. It's the wall and a hole in the wall, and then you see what's a really simple picture, but you instantly know what it is, like a body.
Oh right, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I did. So
Oh
you see
yeah, it's like
the
the
head
ear,
and ear,
yeah.
and then a green jumper.
Yeah. I kind of, that shot right there kind of reminds me of X'd Out Daniel Klaus. The hole in the wall and the cat disappearing through the hole in the wall. Very similar.
Rabbit is an interesting story. The rabbit looks generally like this throughout the whole story.
There's a ghost as well.
It looks a bit like a ghost. It actually reminds me of Watership Down when on the cover of the VHS you saw a bigwig trying to lean out and he's got a snare on his neck. It's exactly that shape.
I like
But then-
that off register colour coming out of the. That's deliberate, obviously.
Yeah.
Of course, it could also resemble a big knob as well by the
Big blue knob.
depending on what sort of imagination.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, kind of looks a bit like that. It also reminds me a bit of like the ghost in Spirited Away.
Oh,
You know the one who had the
no
mask.
face. No face.
So Rabbit is wandering through. Rabbit has some interesting designs there. The mask sort of makes it look like something else. You don't need to have too much of a.
So there's no words, it's just.
No words at all. Rabbit spends his days leisurely strolling across the forest. He becomes a wee bit more deer-like. The next one, this is a psychedelic one.
Oh wow.
Yep.
It's very kind of. That and the first one, Ghost, they're all very like instructional
Yeah.
sort of look to them.
It's like a bunch of diagrams from someone showing you how to do something.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, especially the first story.
The colours are really, really strong.
So overall impressions, you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. I like looking at things that are completely different, and as I say, it's not the sort of comic I would read, so it's nice seeing something that's completely different. But it's no like a strong story. You've really conjure that up yourself. The first one was probably the closest you get to a really strong story, and even then, it's like a situation you could probably put yourself in quite easily. You've got a new job, you're in a large building, and your imagination wanders, and if it's dark and you're in these lonely corridors, you might think of ghosts quite a lot.
Yeah.
And you'll see something out of place, like the wee bit of the curtain that seems to be out on its own, and you think, ghost.
Yeah, definitely a look at it.
It's lonely working in the hospital at night.
I do like the kind of.
Oh yeah, there's a rabbit.
Let's see. Oh wow!
Oh
yeah, definitely.
No mistaking that one.
Definitely a rabbit.
It's interesting what you said there about the story not being the strongest thing on its own. That kind of, I felt that with some of the ones I read.
Yes.
There's other things going on other than it just being a story, a good story given to you. A lot of it's tied up with the art, the style, the format. That seems to be that seems to be for these books,
Well,
I think.
He's as we saw there, he's a illustrator, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So,
But said he's a writer as well.
Mm-hmm.
right, okay. Was illustrator put before writer on the billing? I'm wondering if it's maybe just like a lot of these stories are done by more predominantly artists over writers kind of thing.
Yeah. A lot of it's evoking a feeling kind of thing,
Yeah.
you know, rather than a narrative. Straightforward narrative.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's obviously a big part of this Ghosts that he's thought diagrams. It's all going to be like an instructional manual. Things on the airplanes, you know.
It's like that's what I was thinking, yeah.
In the bag. Well, you get them now, like how to wash your hands, in 12 steps. It shows you how to do it.
It's very by the look of it, I would say very Chris Ware influenced.
Yeah. I was thinking of Chris Ware a minute.
That the first one and the third story. It's just the 3 stories, yeah.
Yeah,
What's the one with the corridor? There's a page for like corridors.
that's the first one I'd
Is
say.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah.
That's something that I did enjoy the most because I kind of associated that with real hospitals.
No, the third
Which one?
on the other page.
What is
Is that third? No, what is that? Oh, it's burnt down house. It looks like a turd in a hole. Yeah, it's really gets the old brain going. Put it that way. Yeah.
That is a good idea to have it be quite sterile and clean lines.
For a hospital.
Like it's all been drawn for a ruler,
Yeah.
with a ruler, and then you've got the wee wisp of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the main character is yourself, basically.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a novel with actual characters, the closest you can come to is Rabbit.
Yeah.
You don't learn too much about Rabbit, but what's there is probably got you thinking. So what Rabbit really is and what his experiences are. See, Rabbit's Dice with Death there.
Yes.
I think very
action panel.
Watership Down sort of themed. So as you might know, not all the rabbits who were main characters in Watership Down made it to the end, and some of them met quite gruesome demises.
That's good. No,
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah. And on that note, I'm going to have to
Shoot off.
leave you guys.
It's no worries. Thank you very much for coming by.
That's okay. I
See
hope.
ya.
I'll see you later.
See you later, mate.
I'll get you to do Actually, just when I think about it, I read A's for Amos, what I called Goatherded,
Yeah. Both her dead.
Something City, Parsley Girl, and The Beginner's Guide to the Nightside. Goatherded,
Yeah, Goatherded.
or Goatherded.
Goatherded. By Charlo, Frade. I don't know. Pronunciations again.
I know.
So it's a nice package. So this one opens with a kind of opening sequence, and it looks like the sun and clouds. And I was sitting looking at it for a bit, thinking it looked nice, but I wasn't sure exactly in terms of the narrative what was going on.
What was happening?
So I sat and thought about that for a while, and then thought, well, you know, it looks nice, I'll just carry on. Something's definitely going on, and the Earth's here at the end. And then it's all to one colour, you know, and then little squares appear, and then there's little figures of people in the squares. So I was feeling like this was a metaphor for life beginning or something like that, you know. You know, reading things like this, I often just go, you know, just read it, just enjoy it.
Yeah.
You don't need to nail it down exactly, but you are always thinking, okay, this could mean this or that, you know.
Yeah.
So these different figures are all appearing on the landscape, it's a very delicate kind of line that they've got, very thin, and then they've got like colours, quite faded colours on it.
It looks like, am I right in saying it looks very sort of watercolour?
Yeah, it looks like, to me it looks like they've done it on a computer but made it look like a watercolour effect. It could be wrong, maybe it is just watercolour, but something about the lines is a bit too, it looks like a cursor or, you know, a digital.
Too neat.
Well,
too neat an edge.
Yeah, and the blocks of colour are quite uniform throughout, although there's dots and things. Anyway, looks nice. And then this character's kind of waking up here, looking around, and then you can see they emerge from they're in these cubes. So this person's came up with a cube to look at the flower, and then turns around and the cube's disappeared, and then they're kind of, so you're thinking, oh, they've been born or something, and now they're in the world kind of thing, you know. And then there's a mysterious character that comes right over. So quite scary, quite frightening as well, and hallucinogenic kind of stuff.
Like a goat.
And actually, what I thought was interesting and stood out a little bit. It's probably a bit too much of it. Probably because I think about this stuff because I'm making comics, but the line of the drawing was thinner than the line of the
speech bubble.
The words, you know. And it's all looks like computer lettering. I've been thinking about that because I've just started doing computer lettering myself, so I noticed that right away.
Right.
It's not even a failing, it's just something that...
Yeah, it's just something you noticed,
blocky letters, you know.
I kind of thought that with the borders.
Yeah.
Was that they were like so
border.
thick.
Yeah, they are.
Uniform, black.
Which I kind of like though, I'm kind of... I'm into borders between drawings, you know. Because otherwise it kind of just looks like someone else that's in the drawing maybe, if it's the same thin line going around.
We'll get on to that in this one as well.
Okay. So I was kind of enjoying that, and then they've got kind of willfully fantastical stuff, you know, like this consciousness is now in a flower pot, and there's a goat beside it, and the main character's, you're a goat now, and then the flower goes, that's my body now, my noodle's in the flower, you know. So it's like, and then he says like, strap me onto the goat's head, make sure it doesn't eat me. You know, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then, so you've now got this goat with a plant pot on it, and that's the consciousness, body and mind.
Yep.
So it's kind of...
I took that, when I read that, I took that as like, that was like humans anthropomorphizing everything.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, we don't just do it with animals, we do it with flowers and inanimate objects and everything as well. But I don't know if that's me just reading
like a
into
comment on doing that in stories,
Because I mean, it's all, you know, birth of, what it looks like at the start, birth of humanity, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
By the way it's drawn, and then all of a sudden it's just that quick thing of like humans, we anthropomorphise things way too much kind of thing. Commentary kind of thing. But I don't know, like I say, I don't know if I'm reading into that.
Well, I think you've got no choice, like Mike said about
ghosts, etc.
About ghosts. It's like a kind of storyline is not strongly given to you, so you do find yourself reading them making up stuff.
Yeah.
Which is quite good, I suppose. It's alright, isn't it? I mean, I think at that point I kind of thought maybe he's just having fun, you know. At that point where it's like the plant pot on the goat's head, you know, he's just having a laugh, isn't he? As well as making a point.
Yeah, there's another bit later on that's like that.
Yeah.
It's like they do everything like really serious, and then all of a sudden there's just a gag put in the middle.
Yeah, there's kind of two halves to this book.
Yeah.
I thought. So you've got all this...
It's like first act, second act.
Metaphorical landscape stuff. Yeah, what is this? A big round ball, he goes in it, you know. So it's all... And then it was interesting, wasn't it, when he went... It's all nature, it's all natural stuff, and then he goes into finds the big round red sphere shape, goes in there, and then it looks like circuitry inside it.
It's like
And I thought, oh, okay, it's kind of something going on. A hint of technology. And then there's, that's it taken off. Sometimes, the silent comics, it's tricky to get across exactly what's happening.
You've really got to.
I think I looked at that panel for a while and thought, what's going on here? And then it's sort of noticed, okay, that's the ball taken off into space, And then everyone else getting out the squares, and there we are. The goat's teleporting around, getting a big nice splash page there, a couple of splash pages.
That looks so much better like that.
Well, did you see this on the screen? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That looks better like that, but the first 2 pages look better on this.
Interesting, yeah.
Because the first 2 pages work in a way that if you look at just this, and then you go into this, you get more of a feel of like a beginning.
Right.
Whereas if you see the 2 of them together like that, you're kind of going, like you're looking in, you feel like you're thinking about it.
That's what
with that following into that, because you know that's coming. You can see that. You can't avoid that with looking at the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got that in front of you, it's just that 9 panel right there. 8 panel, sorry.
Yeah.
8 panel right there, and then the next 8 panels.
So when you look at it on the screen, how many panels do you see at a time? Is it
It's
the whole page?
Yeah, it's the whole page.
Okay.
It's a page at a time. Now, like I say, that splash page doesn't work as well because then it's just that and then that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so it's like almost just another 2 panels.
Yeah, but that works really well like that.
Yeah. Okay. So that, and then you kind of.
It's like a rebirth.
Yeah. Again.
Yeah.
With bits of circuitry and stuff. And then here we are again. Goatherded.
That could be Goatherded. But then that could be another thing. That could be another.
Another stage of.
That could be another commentary. This is like the first one was like our simple birth, and now this is our birth with technology, and everybody nowadays is born into technological.
That's true. Yeah.
Advancement.
And then when you get into the second part here, there's an immediate, I think,
the visual kind of changes.
The darker colours, the navy blue. And then you've got these characters with the horns, and I did think they're like goats,
Mm-hmm.
And they were kind of like a comedy outfit. They turned up and had smart ass comments and things, and it turns out the goat had been working for them or something. I brought the character, and then we were getting this kind of fantasy castles and whatever, dark crystal.
Yep.
Kind of thing. There we go. That's hurry. Yes. Right, and then we're getting into they're having a ceremony.
Looks like a kind of sacrificial thing.
Yeah. And there we are. They're putting machines on the head. So. And
then just a gag.
A gag here. Yeah. Did you bring the drink? Cherry cola. Spirit zero. Spirit zero. I'm on a no carb. Whatever. Suppose that will do. Yeah. So we're getting jokes.
Yeah. In between very serious undertone story.
And then here's like a big demon creature of darkness.
I like that. I like the look of
They've
that.
summoned this
thing. The weird globular black horns thing.
Yeah, it's all weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
But why not? Why not indeed? And there we are getting a bit. The body's lifted.
That looks so much better on paper.
It was a big thing I thought reading this book. Very much tied into this book is this object, this comic, the paper it's on, the colour, how nice it is. It's the format and the look of it and the design is a big part of why you're liking this comic.
Yeah.
Rather than purely the story. The story you're kind of sitting with question marks. And then, you're letting a lot of that go because it looks so nice, and you appreciate it as if as a comics maker, if you made this comic, you'd be pretty pleased with yourself.
Yeah.
And I couldn't say you shouldn't be pleased with yourself.
Who was it again?
It was here we go again. Charlo Frade. Whether I'm saying that correct or not is not known. But yeah, the format of it is a big part of it. And then it was funny when Mike said this kind of similar thing with ghosts.
Mm.
The look of it is a big part of it.
Yeah, it's like the way the like you say, the paper and everything as well. And the colour.
And every book having a different format adds to that idea that they're very interested in giving you objects,
Yeah,
which is good.
yeah, they're good. They're really good.
And they've got that new comic smell. And then this page here where the bodies explode. There's a bit there that's almost like, what's this? Amazing, you know, and then, oh no, and they blow up. And this is like the horror manga stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
The eyeballs and everything. This is a different style again. And then bam, bam, and there we go. And then the main person. And wasn't that funny at the end? This kind of young teenage people. And he's like, nothing amazing happens here. You know, the cap on backwards and everything.
Yeah.
Looking fed up.
That was another thing that made me think that it was like a thing on a commentary on human beings as well, though. It was a thing of like, even the most spectacular of like demons and everything could happen in front of them, and they'd still be like, nothing, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what's the next thing?
Yeah, look at all the smoke, nothing happens here. And then, and at the end, I forgot, he kind of stands up. And I thought, is he the person now? Is he this one of these guys now? Is he needing to start the process? He's stuck there. You know, but again, it's just the fun, I think, of reading something that is very vague.
Yeah.
And then
I don't know if it's meant to continue or something else. But
I get the feeling that these are one-offs, these books.
Well, this one I thought might go into something else because obviously it's got. If you go right back to the start, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But it's got that one dot,
dots, and
then the second part's got the two dots.
Yeah.
And at the end, it's got.
Where's it go?
It's got three dots,
Right at the end.
which are also an ellipses. It's almost like a continuation of something else. Like.
Yes, I think it's a nice book, a nice object.
But the story?
I think the plot is obscured. But plot is not really my main concern, reading things anyway.
No.
So, I think...
Did you enjoy it? On a whole?
I think it did, but it's not maybe necessarily something I'd be now sitting going, this is one of my favourite. I wasn't excited by it, you know.
Right.
I can look at it, I can read it, I can be interested in it and appreciate it and then kind of like it and then maybe forget it. I wouldn't be going, Charlo Frade, what's he going to do next? I think maybe Charlo Frade's going to do another book that's kind of very nice like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at the end. So yeah, maybe I enjoyed it, but I don't know that I was that excited about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's how I would put it. But definitely worthwhile.
I'm with you on the story.
Uh-huh.
That it was a bit kind of obscured. It was just a wee bit non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
There's not really anything going on, but
Yeah.
I enjoyed the visual aspect
Oh yeah.
to the point that I think I would be happy if I even saw like just an art book by Charlo Frade. If there was a thing that was like, illustrations by or something like that, I think I'd be interested to see that first half of that book where he's being born and the goat and the plant and everything. I think that looks incredible.
Yeah.
There's really nice character design as well.
Yes. And I like the willful almost weakness of it.
Mm.
I like that with the drawing where they're not over rendering everything and really trying to hammer it in that, I can draw, look how dynamic it is. That it's confident to just exist and be what it is, and I like that, I appreciate that.
That's good.
I think there's probably traditional ideas of what a story should be that going by this and ghosts, maybe not so much the carrots one, but there's a definite, the story is not the absolute concern here. It's part of it,
Mm-hmm.
but a big part of it is the design and the artwork
I would say
and
the
the
same.
format.
I would say the same with Parcel Girl.
Yeah, and I think it's good. I mean, I think in the context of the wider comic scene, these are great additions to it. You know.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and Carrots was a different thing. The Parsley Girl, I keep calling it Carrots
Because that's what it was.
yeah.
That's the title of it.
Um,
Matthew Swan, Parcel Girl.
This, as I was reading, the reason I wanted to read this was looking at them. It was the look of it. It's got the most kind of, I guess at this stage you can say, kind of traditional underground kind of look. It looks like a comic story that's got a bit of attitude to it, and I like the wacky characters. You know, the robot person, and there's a green person, and
Kind of witchy
yeah.
women. It's all like weird gnomes and demons and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like the cartooniness of it, and colouring again. It's another thing I'm interested in just now because I've just started computer colouring as well. So it's interesting the way this is done.
Mm-hmm.
This character that injects the carrot in the shopping here, but the robot's got the bag of groceries and it's got carrots in it, and then they stab in the carrot.
He's up hiding
And there's
bushes
humour.
and bit, isn't
Yeah, this one's, thinking of the other comic, this one's more a story you follow, isn't it? And
it is,
yeah, but you're still kind of wondering what's going on.
Yeah, because it also
It's not-
doesn't help that at the very start of the story,
Yeah.
there's a line that's 1 tablet a day. She gets
Yeah.
she goes to the dentist and it's 1 tablet a day may cause
That's
weird
right,
visions and
yeah.
drowsiness. So at the if you cement that at the very start, it means everything else that follows could just be a
Could
weird
well
dream.
be, yeah.
Could just be a weird dream and some strange vision, and you've got to take it on good faith that it isn't.
Yeah. I like the look of that character, but is that the Parsley Girl?
Yeah, it's
The
Parsley
green-
Girl. They
With
call
a
her-
jacket and all that.
Yeah, they keep
It
calling
looks
her
good,
PG.
yeah. And
All the carrots turn
the
into
carrots
men.
come to
and-
life. And you know, as I was reading this, I laughed, and I've brought along this because it immediately reminded me of something reading from
Right,
childhood,
okay.
right? That the Hulk comics were the old Tales to Astonish and all that, and the leader always had these. The leader, the Hulk villain, he always had these humanoids, and he would have like them in his hand, like a load of dust. And then do something to them, and they'd all start growing, and then there was like thousands of robots.
Alright, okay.
And there's just a bit where they all see there's the dust, and then they all start coming to life. And this is burned in my mind from reading this when I was a kid, you know. And as soon as I saw all the carrot guys, I thought, I must point that. That's very like it. I mean, I'm not saying they copied it or anything. It's just it reminded me of it.
Yeah.
And especially, I think these guys are like pink and similar-ish.
Right, okay.
And also, there was a comic, The Greenhouse Warriors, a while back, like 25 years ago or something. And I had a lot of these kind of characters looked like vegetables and things. It reminds me of that as well. So these carrots are obviously right away. They're up to no good. You know that because they were injected into the carrot.
And they've all morphed out of things. They've all got angry eyes on, big
Yeah,
frowny eyebrows.
what exactly was kind of going on here?
I think that was meant to be like the carrots were taking over the village.
Yeah.
But then, like I say, it's all
And then she's still
dreams
sleeping,
and-
yeah. It's kind of vague again. I mean, the Parsley Girl's still... There's speech bubbles coming out her mouth and nothing in them. And looks like she's underwater.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Again, it was like, okay, something's going on. The amount of times you read things and think, something's going on.
Yeah.
I'll carry on.
It's another thing though, like you said with the other two, like there's some sort of narrative somewhere,
Yes.
but it is a lot about the visual.
I think that's the kind
This-
of house style idea of Avery books. There's a thread there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, there's variations, isn't it? Wide variations. Well, in these three we've looked at so far. And yeah, it's good. I like it.
It either says something about the Avery Hill stuff, or it says something about us.
Well,
the ones that we
maybe
picked.
both. Yeah, yeah, it could be.
The ones that were picked, we picked on a stylistic choice.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I looked at this one, Parsley Girl, and thought, yeah, I'll read that. That looks up my street. And I do like the look of it. I like the fact somebody sat and designed them all to look like this. They're attractive characters to me. They're funny.
I think the character design is great because it all holds up between it as well. Like there's no point in the book that it swithers and one looks lazily done or looks different in any way. They're very consistent throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, good
point.
What I mean? Yeah. Oh, there was other things in this that was like freaking me out. There's magic paint in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, magic paint?
Yeah.
I remember magic paint.
Yep.
Yeah. So that
from one Frade got it.
Yeah, I thought, oh, magic paint. I suppose it's not that. Anyway, I did think, but it's quite nice even the way they've done the paint, the colour throughout it.
Yep.
There.
It's always it's like
there's variations.
rainbow gradient going on.
Snap out of it. And then they were off to the library. And then, yeah, that's right, then they were off to the library.
I like this, like the robot
That must have
tapping into the computer with the magic paint.
Yeah.
It's
That's right.
It's like he's bursting through all the knowledge in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
Oh yeah, and then this diagram that's explaining something.
They found in
that
the old
happened.
book.
Yeah,
It's to tell them how to destroy the carrots.
Yeah, and then even like the comic makes sense at the end. I like that. It was cheeky.
I think it's like a tortoise ruled. Right, this is what I got. A tortoise ruled the planet, ruled a village at one time.
Yeah.
Some carrot men invaded
Mm-hmm.
and invaded this village specifically with this tortoise. Completely devoured the land and enslaved people.
Yeah.
The tortoise that ruled over was sad.
Yeah.
Gathered up 3 individuals.
Okay.
Special individuals, was able with these 3 individuals to change into
the robot.
using their power or whatever to destroy the carrot people and restore order to the land and rule over again as the happy tortoise. But
and then they were like,
and then they find it and go, yeah, it makes sense. You know,
let's do that then.
Yeah, we must be the 3. You know.
Yeah. Okay, it's good. Oh, and there they are.
There's the tortoise, there's the 3.
Yes, that's right.
It makes a wee bit more sense when you go through it, but
It makes a lot more sense when you read it.
no, I just like
No, it's good.
The first time I looked at it as well, I went,
I think I was a bit lazy. I thought, oh, there's something that's showing them how to beat this thing.
Yeah.
And that was enough for me.
Yeah.
And then moved on to the next.
it's kind of much of the same.
Yeah, I thought they'll do that.
It's
Well, that is, but I didn't really figure it out
Yeah.
bit by bit. But that was good when you did it there. I enjoyed that. So there they are then, fighting all the carrot people. I can't look at these pictures of them without thinking of the leader humanoids, you know. And then there's like action sequences, which is good. Not portal.
There's a bit where they get separated from the robot.
Yeah.
Very Avengers-esque.
Another thing I was reading this one, right? I think about this point, I thought to myself, who's this for? Who's this comic for? This one didn't feel to me like a metaphorical thing about life and everything.
Oh,
like
no,
that.
no.
I thought, this maybe is just a comic for like little kids.
Yeah. There's no swearing.
And I was thinking, I wonder if there's anything more to this, or if it's just a fun thing for kids. At which point I did think, why am I reading this? And I thought, well, it's well done and I like the look of it.
Yeah.
But I think maybe it is a kid's comic, which is good.
Which, yeah.
I wasn't looking for metaphorical meaning or anything. I mean, it's maybe in there anyway. I'm not meaning a disparage.
No.
But
I don't think there is evil dentists and carrots and...
yeah, I thought somebody's doing a comic for kids here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. that
For
should
once.
be happening a lot more.
Yep. And an interesting one as well. One
Yeah.
that actually looks nice.
It looks nice, a lot of
Has
good
character.
ideas in it.
Has characters that you can get behind, root for,
Yeah.
become a fan of.
Yes.
And there's a baddie that's quite obviously a baddie.
Yes, and wasn't that interesting that, I mean, that's the dentist, right? Not spoiler warning, but the dentist kind of was the baddie in there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, ooh.
And she looks like a giant bit of plaque.
Oh yeah? That's disgusting.
Yeah,
I
it
hadn't
is.
thought of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's right.
Which is Megan.
Yeah, so I think this is good.
Mm-hmm. It was really nice. It was really some nice pages and it looks good.
And then these dogs at the end, on the attack here. Whoa,
Yeah.
that's
And
dramatic, isn't it?
that Matthew Swan's gone out of his way. I'm assuming he's not just the writer, he's the illustrator as well.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think you're right.
But they've gone out of their way specifically to do a different breed.
Yes, it's all
And each
different
one-
dogs.
yeah, it's not, like
it's not
a bunch of generic
dog.
looking
Yeah.
dog. Yeah, they're all totally different. Got a poodle in there.
Do you know what? This might be a daft question. She's at it again with the empty speech.
Aye, sleeping.
What are they? Is that her sleeping?
Yeah, that's her sleeping.
Does she fall asleep?
Yeah, that's her drowsiness.
Oh.
She takes a pill earlier on,
Yes.
and she does that, and this is like it coming on again because the spells of drowsiness.
So just
Right when the action's about to take
randomly,
off,
she just falls asleep.
aye.
That's interesting. I've never seen that somebody being asleep in a comic before. An empty speech balloon.
That's very
Is that a thing?
anime-esque.
Yeah.
Because you usually see it in animes where they're sleeping, it's big, it's like big, it looks like snot bubbles, but it's
Yeah.
not, but it usually comes out the mouth like, wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've learned something. Okay,
But yeah,
so it's quite violent now. I guess you can be quite violent because they're only carrots, so they're getting their heads
Yeah, and there's no
sliced
blood
off.
that's all rainbow colours and,
Yeah.
you know.
Cool. Here we are.
It's just,
And then the joke at the end, yeah.
that's the girl still eating the carrot.
Eating the carrot, and they're like, ah.
And she's like, well, it's good for my teeth.
Good for my teeth, good ending, good line.
She's wearing black earrings.
Oh yeah. I liked it as well, was it they were drinking rainbow milkshakes or something?
Yeah.
And it was called, I like the rainbow that they've got put in
Mm-hmm.
it.
It's like a lemon slice.
Yeah, so that was an interesting comic again. I liked it. And I think with a book like that, and a book like Ghosts and Goatherded, I'm going to say it properly this time. But there's a lot of variation in those three.
Yeah.
There's three different kinds of books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not sticking to.
Yeah, it's not like Me Like This.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's kind of like what a company should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Is taking on the stuff that they find interesting,
Mm-hmm.
or the people that have approached them with the right sort of pitch to be like, this is what I've got.
Yeah.
I'll take a look, see what you think, you know, as opposed to just taking on any old Joe Schmo as long as they've got a good name behind them and it has somebody kicking ass.
Yeah.
It's good to see somebody actually producing interesting comics, regardless of if they've got a strong storyline or strong art or anything like that. It's as long as it's appealing to them, they're going to let everybody else know about it.
Yes.
That's what piqued my interest in them.
They are artistic,
Yeah, they're,
which is good.
it's a good publishing firm for that, definitely.
Yeah. In the arena of independent, now meaning, you know, we want a TV series made of us for something.
Yeah.
You know, that you don't get that feeling of these.
No.
They're objects of, you know, artwork,
Mm-hmm.
comics, which is good.
Yep.
I appreciate them.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you read Something City?
I read Something City.
Yeah.
I was very taken with this. Purely on the fact that it's not like anything I've ever really seen before.
Mm-hmm.
It has got that more sort of elongated presentation about it as well. You know, that sort of landscape design as in these two
The
are,
shape of the book.
yeah, these two are more portrait, but it's more, it looks like a Peanuts collective or something. The way it's together.
Yeah, newspaper stuff.
Yeah, and the way it is inside, it's kind of.
Oh yeah.
Now it's kind of presented in that sort of fashion, but
Mm-hmm.
now this was where I was getting up with the borders. There's no strong border, but there is a strong, harsh white line in between them. But some of them don't match with the one that's right below them. It's thicker than others.
Yeah.
They kind of overlap.
They've got rid of
disappear.
a lot of the black lines, not there,
Yeah,
which is interesting.
it's all just kind of coloured in. There's only certain bits that are highlighted in black to show that it's an arm or a head or a chin or something like that. But everything else they've got rid of it, and they've done it's almost like overlapping colour.
Interesting.
For it. But it's these short stories.
It looks good. It looks like there's a lot to it. There's a lot of content.
It's these stories of all these people that live in different parts of something city, and then each story is named a different part of the city. So there's Upper Haven Squaresville, there's the Free Body Culture Club, there's Ashford Minimum Security Prison, there's Brookfield Terrace, and it goes on like that, Old Networth Square, stuff like that, it's just all these different places and a story for each one. But you tend to find that a lot of them either match up with other stories, or when you get to how they separate the book, is they give you a certain set of stories and then give you like a bit out of the newspaper, and they fill you in on the next part of each story or tie to a character within it. But it's funny because at the first bit of the newspaper or the news headlines or whatever, it gives you bits from the first stories, and then it gives you bits for the stories coming up. So you're reading it going, well, that's not come up in it yet, and then you get to the next sort of set of stories and go, oh wait a minute,
Okay.
and then there'll be another bit that's like the sports bit, something like sports pages or something like that. There's a little just sort of views of something city overall, goodbye from something city. Welcome to something city,
Yeah.
But it's really nicely done. It's not a style I've ever really seen before, which is refreshing to see somebody trying something that doesn't look like anything else. But it's got references to pop culture. It's got things that involve.
There's Willy Wonka.
Yeah, there's what I liked about it was that it's not. It's interesting to read a comic that doesn't just have a bunch of white people with problems.
Right.
There is literally people from loads of different ethnicities, genders, everything. The first story in it is about a black couple moving out of where they were to something city because there's been a controversy to do with animal rights. And just that's very current. That's something that's very much in people's consciousness right now, is things on animal rights and human rights. It's done in such a way that there's also a good narrative behind it, a good humour behind it as well. There's little jokes in between, but there's quite serious points, and like you say, the Willy Wonka thing, but that's like a meme that's quite current and that everybody would sort of, it's one of them.
Tell me more about how you do this and that.
It says right there, Joe Walker walks free after having innocent blood on her hands. Tell me more about how our judicial system works with that, But it's really good. Like, I kind of went into that thinking that was going to be the main story.
Right.
Not like I didn't flick through it. I didn't flick ahead and find out anything. I just went straight into it. And then when I turned the page and found out that was the end of the first story and it was into something completely different, I got, here's something else. But it's just, it's really interesting. I was really taken by the overall style of it, the way it's laid out, the book in general, the way the book is actually laid out as well with its dimensions. Like you say, as we said with these, with Ghosts and with Goatherded, the paper and the shape and everything adds up to the overall likability of the actual thing itself. You know, that adds up to the actual pleasure of reading it.
Yeah.
Is getting something in a different style, or getting something on a bit more high quality paper or whatever. It makes all the difference. But yeah, there's a lot of good a lot of funny stories in between it, a lot of very poignant stories in between it, a lot of stuff that's very very up to date and going with the culture or topics that are happening right now, but within this made up city. Well, at least I think it's made up. I don't think Something City is an actual city anywhere, but I don't know. You never know. But yeah, there's things about like phone apps and stuff that are obviously commentaries on Tinder and all this kind of shit, you know. But it's good. You know.
I can see a difference. I mean, I didn't read this one, but this one has got a lot more words in it.
Yes.
So it's able to tell a story.
Yes. This one's very.
It's not so experimental as the other ones.
Yeah. This one's
silent.
Very
storytelling.
Yeah. It's very story orientated.
Yeah.
It's.
So that's a difference. Yeah.
Well, each story is on a mission to tell you something, and let you know something, and in some respects, kind of make you think about something.
Yeah.
You know, or give you. I think some of them give you the choice of, you know, are you on this side or this side with some of the stories.
Okay.
But still laced with humour through it.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, it looks good. I'll give that one a read.
Yeah. I think this is what, like I said, I think this is one that you would actually enjoy. Although I think somewhere in amongst, I can't remember where it was, but there was one of the stories I was going through and I went, oh, spelling mistake.
Oh, right.
And there was like a genuine, like glaring spelling mistake. Or it was like, it wasn't I don't think it was a spelling mistake, it might have been a grammar mistake, but it was like, it was either a word was spelled differently or a word was inserted where it should have been something else. Like it was maybe if instead of or something like that, you know what I mean? Which is kind of the same as both of them, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was something like that. And I went, oh shit.
That always makes me wince. I think it's a throwback to the idea that you shouldn't be reading these. You should be reading real books. They're rubbish.
Yeah.
So I always thought every time I find a wee spelling mistake, it's like, oh no, the teacher is going to be proven right. That is, it's daft, but
it's daft, but yeah,
someone always gets through.
Yeah.
I find there's always some mistake in this.
Yeah. But that's not a bit. It wasn't a big thing. It didn't put me off it in any way, shape, or form.
I see they've got a wee bit of Star Trek in here as well.
Yeah. I was really taken with it. Really taken with it. I didn't expect to be as into it as I was.
I wonder how they drew it.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, did they have a black line and then get rid of it? Or did they draw it in these colours? See, there's like some of the...
Who was it again? Who was...
Alice Weaver.
Alice Weaver. Very, very good. Alice Weaver, thumbs up.
Yeah.
I would go as far as to say that that's one of the best books I've read this year.
Cool.
I really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. And it's funny, as Mike would say, spoiler alert, there's another one of them coming up in 2 minutes.
Another book that's one of the best.
Yep, and it's in the same sort of format, the same shape. I've not got the actual physical book, I've only got the PDF. But I have actually seen this book when we were at the Glasgow Comic Con.
Right.
And it was the same shape. Exactly the same shape and the same sort of style presented. But, yeah, that's definitely one I would read.
I will do that.
But Alice Weaver, well done. Definitely. That was,
Gold star.
Yeah, gold star and a half. 2 thumbs up.
Alright, what's the next one?
The next one was Jill Hatcher's The Beginner's Guide to Being Outside.
Oh, okay. Teen Girl.
Yeah. Teen Girl.
Yeah, she's on. Okay, Avery as well.
Yeah, with this at least.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, is she one of the founders of Teen Girl?
Yeah, it's pretty much her thing as far as I can see.
Ah.
She started it anyway.
And you-
with some other people. Yeah, it's a team.
Yeah.
But whenever I see things, she's usually involved. There was a joint launch with Treehouse and a Teen Girl comic event, so a couple of years ago. So that's where I really got speaking to Jill.
I bought a couple of badges off of her at the con. Remember the bird ones?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, so Beginner's Guide to Being Outside. I enjoyed this one because it looks really nice.
Mm-hmm.
But this is another one that's got a really good story to it.
Yeah.
A girl going away.
Do you know what? I'm sorry, but computer colours, man, it's such a thing that legitimises stuff.
Yeah.
It's like if it wasn't computer coloured, it would look not done.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling with that because I'm so into black and white stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I'm not struggling, but it definitely adds legitimacy to comics.
Yeah.
To have it coloured in, all these flat colours from the computer, which are good. I mean, I much prefer them to all the over-rendered, you know, loads of details computer colouring
Yeah.
that obstructs all the line work.
Mhm.
I hate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I'm struck once again that here's this one coloured in.
I get what you mean though.
Yeah. Interesting.
But yeah, it's girl going away on a holiday. She was a bit disappointed because her mum and her stepdad can't afford a big holiday. She wanted to go to Tenerife again. But she's like, we're just going to go stay in a wee place up in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, she's saying, oh, I bet my dad would have taken me to Tenerife.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that kind of typical thing, you know.
It's relatable.
Yeah, she's been sent away to go on this crappy holiday that she doesn't want to go on.
Mm-hmm.
She gets given a wildlife book with a free app from her gran. Her mum's just given her, and I think she's like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, what a lot of shit, you know.
Yeah.
But then as it goes on,
Mm-hmm.
you know, this whole bit here, you know, she's got a cracked iPod, phone where she's texting her pal saying, I can't go, I've been taken to this fucking place, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And just playing a game. It's all the digital stuff,
Very good, yeah.
which is quite good, showing that she's, you know, involved in her tech. And then
There's no signal. Yeah, that's good.
yep,
It's very, it is, it's true to life.
and she's
Oh, that's nice, eh?
yeah, that was
That's
beautiful.
nice.
Just a page,
Drawing, yeah.
which is with a moth flying towards
Nice.
the
Yeah, I like
cottage.
And that's a good use of the effect as well.
Yep.
Just the light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's nicely done. Tasteful.
Yes, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's sitting playing a game with her folks, and a card game with her folks, and then sees a moth that gets a fright,
Mm-hmm.
and she realises, oh, you know, that moth's actually really nice.
Yeah.
And they've said, you know, why don't you go and look it up in the book that your gran got? She's like, oh, I can just do it in the app. And they're like, oh, bloody app, you know,
Mm-hmm.
do with your phones. But it actually gives her the whole
Yeah.
thing. And this is the basis for the rest of the book, is that she keeps seeing things.
Right.
Because there's obviously a bit of tension going on with her mum and her stepdad.
Mm.
They're just going through a bit of a rough patch, but she's
Yeah.
kind of caught in the middle. But she sees like ladybirds, and when they go away on a walk, they see birds together. And but you know, she goes away and she gets her app out on a bunch of swooping birds. Where is it?
Nice.
Yeah, there we go. And the seagull starts sort of swooping down, and then they realise it's because there's a big hawk.
Mm.
And she gets her phone out and finds out what it is, and she starts having dreams about stuff like that, and everything is like, this is great. You know, she sees a deer and zooms in and gets the description of the deer.
Yeah. Yeah, they were, aye, this is a good book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's clever and it's subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Winona, we're going to have one of these
Yep.
in the corner to tell you each time what
Yep.
the animal is.
And what she's been looking up.
It's
as well.
very nicely done, yeah.
Very nicely laid out. It's a good mixture between technology and the fact of going out in the wilderness and her being left without a signal, but she's still able to look up stuff on the app or whatever.
Yeah, very good.
It's it's good.
And then you've got the drama of the home life.
Yep.
Family.
She's the wee drama going on there.
Yeah.
She sees the book and thinks, you know what, screw this, I'm going to go on a wee wander.
Mm-hmm.
This is nice. Like,
Yeah, the colours are nice, nighttime colours.
She goes and sits by the pond and has a wee fall asleep, and then starts to dream about being taken away by an eagle and flying with geese. And nice visuals, really nice visuals.
Yeah, and also good storytelling.
Yeah.
Pages and I assume that's pages of silent stuff.
Yeah.
But you're not sitting going, well, what happened there at any point?
Page
you
at a
know
time.
what's happening, and that's good.
But she takes you through it like bit by bit. It's really nice.
Yeah.
And then just a nice wee. It's not there's no like big massive huge wrap up or anything.
Oh,
like that.
sure.
She just sort of comes back and says, Mum, are you up yet? And she realises she's not. She just goes back to bed and that's it.
Yeah, that's nice.
Left to the rest of the holiday, and
Very good indeed.
just a nice wee simple story, but.
Well, that's for the best.
But it's a very sort of, like you said, it's very sort of true to life. Like these things kind of happen.
Well, there was the opening in the car. I mean, in the back of my mind, I was immediately going, is this based on like the author's life as a child or whatever kind of thing? And then so you're kind of half wondering that, and then she's got the modern day technology, the wee girl.
Yep.
And you're like, this is happening now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting.
It's
that was good. That was very readable.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, usually being readable is the most important thing in a comic, over and above everything else.
Yep.
Like
that's great.
Yeah, and it's also clever. It's putting in diagrams. It's putting in, especially with the bit on the screen whenever a new animal comes in, and there it is. That's telling you what it is. She's just started doing that now, and as a reader, you just pick that up. That's what's going to happen now.
Yep.
So it's clever. Yeah, it's a good one.
It was really good.
Like that.
So that was another one. That's
that beautiful drawing there. Yeah, with the
moth.
Yeah. What was the name of that again?
The Beginner's Guide to Being Outside.
Yes, very good.
Really good.
Well done.
Really good. But yeah, John Hatcher, that's another one. But that was they were two that I actually had.
I didn't actually know she was on Bravery. That's
well with that anyway.
Yeah, sure.
With that. Yeah. But yeah, that's two that have both been
two big hits.
Interesting, yeah, but they've also been very interesting in style, something that I've never really seen before. Once again, but they've also had a really good narrative about them as well, and not like the other ones where it's been a wee bit more experimental or anything like that. Like they kind of knew what they were doing, and they knew they were going to get the point across with these stories,
Yeah, very good. I'm impressed with that.
The other one that I wanted to mention, there's not really much to this one. I just really quite enjoyed it. Was A is for Amos. Musical A to Z by Daria Hazatova?
Lazatova?
Or just Lazatova?
Lazatova. Oh, look at that. Nice.
This is more just this is like an art book. It's just an A to Z with a picture on each one kind of thing. And it was interesting pictures that they went with. They didn't go with the typical photos. I expected when it said B is for Bowie for it to be, the lightning from
Ziggy and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not even a thing, is it? The moon in the hair is not. She's
just went for something.
Yeah.
F is for Florence. Which it looks like, what's the name of that artist that did The Kiss? Gustav Klimt. The Kiss. It's kind of that.
Oh yeah, for this one.
Yeah.
Whereas
Just the kind of
I
style in
think it's
general.
Revolver I'm thinking of, which is reminding me of that. Yeah, yeah, that's what it's got me thinking of. All this stuff piled on.
With like a collage.
Good.
Yeah.
And there's almost like one colour.
Yeah.
Yellow. Oh, see Genesis is coming into it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Jeez, for
And
Genesis.
Dad Rock. Yeah, the Gabriel style, of course, with
Mhm.
the costumes and all that.
Dad
Mm-hmm.
Just for Harvey.
PJ Harvey.
What is it? I couldn't see.
Yeah.
Yes,
Iggy.
Iggy.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually quite well done as well, like him inside the O of the box.
Yes.
That's young Iggy as well, really young Iggy. What was for a corner?
Oh, I thought it was going to be Des.
Yes.
That's Sinead, is it?
Yeah.
So that's like an art book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which again ties in with what we're saying about their books.
Yeah.
Being an art product
Art-based,
is
And
is very valid to them.
funnily enough, like Ghosts, and why I was asking,
Yeah.
Daria Lazatova is an illustrator and collage maker.
Ah.
And it was like that Ghost is an illustrator first,
Mm-hmm.
before anything else.
Very good.
But yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, there's loads more that they gave us that I would have that I will get around to reading and speaking about because they've piqued my interest very much so with these,
Yes.
and I want to read more.
Cool.
But yeah, it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I was quite chuffed.
Yep.
So yeah, that was a wee bit of Avery Hill.
I've got some other things that I've been looking at.
Thank you very much for this.
That's alright. If you ever want any snacks in there, just have a wee look. There's
Oh.
plenty of stuff I've got,
I'm all good, I'm just...
especially since I've raided your biscuit collection so many times.
It's alright, honestly. I'm just absolutely stuffed. I just did a massive pizza, so I'm just like, whoa.
Right.
Oh,
We'll start off with
Goatherded.
Yeah.
Goatherded, as it should be.
I always see the goat and I just think Goatherd. Looks wise, it's fairly unique. I mean, story wasn't exactly too complicated unless you deliberately look for these things. It's the sort of story that a philosopher could read into and come up with all sorts of things like rebirth and reincarnation, afterlife, and demons and angels and so on, and new worlds growing. It's maybe not the sort of comic I would read too much, but for uniqueness, it is pretty good, interesting. There's no explanation, so you're kind of wondering quite a lot of the time. You can come up with your own conclusions. Colour-wise, it's mostly red, with dashes of yellow and orange.
Well, it's very... You notice the starting of it is very, like, light and watercolour-esque. Very faded and sort of light yellow... Well, kind of like pencils, kind of like very light shaded pencils, or whatever. And then when it gets into the second part, it's all very harsh and dark colours. It just kind of transitions, and then that chapter 2 is just like solid block colour from chapter 2 onwards with that rebirth
Burst of
there.
activity.
And then you get like solid colours from there. It's not so like, it's still quite painterly, but yeah. But yeah, there seems to be some sort of born again aspect that Charlo Frade? Charlo Frade. That's kind of what it's going for with Goatherded.
Got some interesting scenes though. I mean, this looks like almost like a sacrifice the three demons have with the main antagonist.
Yeah.
Almost experimental as well.
Yep.
And they're having cherry cola and Spirit Zero.
Yeah.
And one says, "I'm on a no carb."
Yeah. He's like, oh, I guess it'll work.
And then one final gulp and spit it on the boy. I don't recall seeing this in the
No.
in some of those Hammer horrors.
No, but that page is great.
Yeah,
Big massive demon.
demon
thing.
with a bit of an innuendo sticking out of his head,
Yeah, big,
or a horn.
big horn. Big, let's go for the horn.
Kind of almost like Adventure Time sort of style.
Anyway, yeah.
I wouldn't.
It's almost like one of the demons of Vu, right enough.
Well, the rebirth side is that when the demons seem to have their way, all of a sudden, I don't know if they really wanted this, they all end up dying in a horrendous way. But then afterward you see what looks like the main character, who's kind of reborn as a demon, or demon-like creature.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, I think it's, I really enjoy it. I don't know about yourself, what do you reckon?
I liked a lot of bits about it. As I say, it's not the sort of comic I would really read, but I thought it was unique. I like it because it's original, and the art style is different. I wouldn't say I didn't enjoy it, but it's not the sort of comic I would regularly read.
Yeah. Cool. So next up,
Deep Space Canine.
yeah, comic book slumber parties. Deep Space Canine, yeah. It's kind of like an anthology, but with like a tying in story. So it's loads of different artists and everything come together to do different parts of the same person's or character's story. I personally couldn't make my way all the way through it, but then we know why that is. It's the anthropomorphic.
Yeah. Well,
Nothing to do with the story. Some of the styles and stuff are amazing and quite breathtaking to look at, but just the animal people, I can't.
yeah.
Made me
Well,
quite queasy.
Again, this is probably not the sort of comic I would really read too much. I am a bit of an escapism person. So a lot of the time when I was looking through this, it was like a bit like a soap opera, drama and relationships and normal mundane stuff. And you just replace them with dogs in space. Whereas when I saw this, I thought on the cover, yes, dogs in space. It'll be like something like the Soviets have sent off these dogs and they've got a mission and they've mutated because of the cosmic rays and they're super intelligent, wearing human spacesuits and battling space aliens.
Very different on the inside.
Yes, but it's ambitious because, as you say, you've got the same characters, you've got different artists, different styles. Some of the styles are pretty good, others are really different and brave in their experimentation of these styles. Some of them look like they're high on drugs. The sexual element is, if you didn't know about it, you might get a bit of a surprise. But it's played pretty well. I kind of found that really interesting, including the bit with the guest appearance by the xenomorph, who seems to be quite enjoying an enormous spliff. He also looks like he's drooling at the thought of it.
Yep.
Acidic drool as well. When the main character is actually enjoying the cigarette with him, homemade cigarette. And this style in particular is actually pretty insane because from a distance you might think it was plasticine models.
Now, I actually think it's cotton that's been moulded and then had the picture taken. That's honey
Parist.
Yeah, honey Paris. Yeah, I was a fan of that one. I read that one, but it's
almost like Jaws.
Yeah, I found a lot of the dialogue to be very sort of poetic, instead of taking you through a narrative, instead of really guiding you through the story or anything. I felt that a lot of the actual words that were going on were more like left up to interpretation as what you thought of them, you know what I mean? They weren't just straight up telling you the story.
This style here, I don't know if you're able to cope with this one. If you just imagine that as a human with pointy ears and a funny nose.
It all just became a bit too much for me. It was nothing. It was like that. It's nothing on the people that do it. They've done a really good job. I think they've done a great job, and I think some of it looks fantastic. But just animals looking like people just freaks me out. I started to feel queasy as I was going through it. So it's probably not a good thing.
Well,
but no, it still looks incredible, and the way they were going about it was decent. I don't know what your overall thought was. Good, bad?
I rank it the same as Goatherded, in that it was enjoyable. I don't want to put either of them down because just because it's not the style that I really like. You know, there's a lot of people who really love it.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with both of them. People really love them, and the canine one is probably going to have a lot of fans, and rightfully so.
Yeah, very topical.
Yeah, and I mean, they're brave. They've got all these different styles, the main characters, and the theme, and there's a lot of... they've been brave in bringing up sexuality in there as well, and companionship. So that would be the main thing. I mean, space is probably like secondary or tertiary. It's like not an important thing. They could put that in a city or in the Antarctic or in a jungle, and it doesn't really mean that much, despite being in the title. And the main thing is the sexual tension between some of the characters.
Yeah, the actual content.
And the bravery of some of the styles and the contrast in the styles is what make it stand out.
Yeah. Cool.
Now, this one.
The last one that you read, Beginner's Guide to Being Outside by Jill Hatcher.
I really enjoyed this.
That seems to be a top pick with a lot of us.
Yep. This is the sort of book I think should be sold in a lot of the tourist shops. So if you're going out into the countryside and you go to some place like Queensview and they've got a tourist shop there, or if you go out into places like Ullapool or in the Highlands and in the shops there, this is the sort of book you should really see. And I mean, there'd be an idea for Avery Hill to say, well, we've got this really enjoyable book. You should be selling it in the countryside, country park shops, the tourist shops, visitor centres, and it's a wonderful story about a little girl who she's with her mum and she's with her stepdad, and they want to go to the countryside, and she's sceptical at first. I mean, she's like a teenager, and she's like, I'm not needing to do this. I want to stay home. So she's playing on her wee gadget, and she gets a book about Scottish wildlife. And I had lots of books like this, but they don't have free apps because it was quite a while ago. So she scans the app. I've never even used them even today.
The QR codes.
Yeah. I mean, I've known of them for years, but I've never actually used them. Probably my phone. It probably works on my phone. But she, it seems like at first she kind of dismisses it, and then her interests pick up. So they're going away to the Scottish Highlands and to the islands, and she gradually gets interested in some of the wildlife. And she sees a moth and she's like, oh, okay, so what's that? And she looks it up on her wee app. And this book kind of updates you because it shows you what she sees.
Yep.
and it gives you little details about the animals. So she sees the moth, and during the day, but the backstory is that her mum and her stepdad don't always get on too well. So they there's some expletives there.
Yeah, there's some tension.
Mm-hmm. But it's the same with all families, I reckon. But she goes out to get a wee bit of fresh air.
Yep, and absorb the wildlife that's going on around her, just like what her app is giving her.
So she goes out with her mum out in the countryside. A lot of us can relate to this because we go out in the countryside, we see animals, and sometimes our families don't always get on too well. And when you're young, you want to get up to other stuff. You don't necessarily want to go places, but this one I think worked really well. She goes out and she sees some of the seabirds, and all of a sudden, a white-tailed seagull swoops down, grabs a fish, and she's like, "Wow!" Scans her app, and it comes up with details. And deer. So a lot of these animals are iconic animals you'd find in Scotland as well. So it's important locally.
Mm-hmm.
So there she is. She decides to get out of bed and have a wee wander out in the countryside. And there's a lot of people saying, these days our kids are wrapped with cotton wool and they can't get out and enjoy things. They can't get on tree houses, they can't climb trees, they can't go pond dipping, that sort of thing. And she ends up having a dream where she's carried off by the seagull. Not to mention flying with some barnacle geese.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's with a basking shark, but I don't think the basking shark is really... she's not had the chance to scan it, so there's some things you can learn about yourself.
All in a dream. So
yeah.
She's now just one with nature.
Swimming with a seal.
Yep, who snaps her out of it.
Yeah, and you can even see this in the likes of Broughty Ferry. You can see seals popping their heads out. So then she gets back to her bed, and you kind of ponder what'll happen next. And I really hope that Jill Hatcher does a sequel to this.
If she doesn't do a straight up sequel, I would like to see something that I would like to see her do is draw a lot more wildlife. I would love to see a book of just her drawing wildlife, or maybe even somebody just walking through wildlife or something like that. She's got a good penmanship for that, definitely.
Even a factual book.
Yeah. The way she draws little birds and whatnot is incredible.
Yeah, well, there's, dare I say it,
It's a nice wee...
long-tailed tits.
Yeah.
And I've seen them out in the countryside. In fact, near my home as well, I've seen them, not here, but as a kid.
Yep.
So this is easy for someone like me to relate to because of the wildlife themes.
It's definitely it's a good one for kids as well, I think.
And that's why I think it should be sold in gift shops here.
It's a good all rounder. Yeah, I think that's definitely been one of the top picks for all of us. David really liked it. Giuseppe really liked it. You really liked it. I really liked it. I can't remember if Nando read it or not. I think he may have. If not, then he's definitely commented on it. He's definitely commented on that it looked good. So yeah, it's been a good one. It's been a good pick.
It would be interesting to see how Jill Hatcher does if she did a similar book but in another place, like even Spain or Italy.
Yeah.
Because one of the reasons we enjoy this so much is, or me anyways, because I related it to here.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you for that, Mike.
That's alright.
Thanking you.
I'll get around to doing it.
So there you have it, first part of the reviews. Hope you all enjoyed it, and see you soon for part 2. Continue to stay up to date with That Comic Smell on Twitter @ThatComicSmell. You can also send us any comments or queries at thatcomicsmell@gmail.com.
To listen to our previous episodes or to follow us or subscribe, you can reach us at SoundCloud, YouTube and iTunes. Thanks for listening.
Today's track on the podcast was by White Bear, and it's The Tide in My Lungs. You can find White Bear at Bandcamp and SoundCloud. Give them a follow on Facebook and Twitter.